My name is Michael Dixon. I'm with MidTex Aviation. We are the group who just purchased the Enstrom assets out of Chapter 7 bankruptcy. We just received the final court approval of the asset purchase agreement yesterday on March 8th at about 11:30 in the morning. So we're very excited to be here at the show and announcing the Enstrom is moving forward. Okay. We're going to be very soon the Enstrom Aerospace Industries. Okay. Enstrom Aerospace Industries is not only going to be supporting our current fleet worldwide, all of our private customers, our military customers, government customers, our fleets worldwide, but we're also going to be expanding the business into OEM, parts production, engineering support, and moving into new markets as the rotorcraft industry evolves. We're looking into eVTOLs, we're looking into military programs, we're looking into electrification, we're looking into a lot of very exciting projects, both in-house and with partnership groups we're speaking with. I can't share specifics on the partnership groups at this time, but there's going to be some very exciting developments very soon coming out of our new organization. So we hope to have operations, the doors back open around April 22nd, just after Easter. And as much as I'd love to expedite that, the courts and attorneys, we need to go through whatever process is remaining there. We'll let the attorneys do the attorney things until the attorneys are done doing attorney things. That's all I can say about that. Are there any specific questions?
What's the...
just hold on to
Just
that.
hold it, not right up your face, but you can just hold it in your hand.
Okay. Could you describe the size of the current Enstrom fleet that you will be essentially taking on at this point in terms of support? Mm-hmm. And secondly, when you say sort of reopening the doors, does that mean resuming manufacture of new helicopters at some stage this year?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the answer to your first question, the current fleet support is around, I believe it's around 800 flying aircraft, operational aircraft that are around the world today. So we'll be resuming that fleet support. The doors opening, what that means is we'll be bringing back the management teams, we'll be bringing back people to begin that ramp up and capacity planning as we move forward. The helicopter manufacturing side of the house, absolutely. We absolutely plan on continuing manufacturing of the product line, the 480Bs, 280FXs, F28Fs. Absolutely believe in the product. We believe in its versatility. We believe in its safety record. So, yeah, we're very excited to be manufacturing that fleet.
So, Mike, what assets is the company actually getting in this, and how much are you paying for them?
Hey, can you speak a little louder?
Oh, yes.
Into the mic.
Into the mic? Okay. As far as how much we paid for them, I can't disclose that. But with the asset purchase agreement, we bought everything from the toilet paper up. It was a clean asset purchase, which means the intellectual property, the machinery, the equipment, the buildings, everything.
So if you bought the buildings, does that mean that any activities that go on are going to take place in Michigan, or are you going to move it all to Texas?
Oh, everything is going to be taking place in Michigan. We don't have any desire to move the current location of the production facility. One, the facility's there, the machinery's there, everything's there, but more importantly, the Enstrom know-how of that community is there. I lived there for 5 years while I was with Enstrom Helicopter Corporation as the Managing Director of Support Programs. I know those people. They're very talented. They know the product, and they love the Enstrom facilities. They love that Enstrom team and family. So we're dedicated to that idea of bringing those people on board and making sure that their future, as well as the future of our new organization, is secure.
And then who is actually getting the money from the asset purchase? Is it the former owners, or is there some legal entity apart from them, or how does that all work?
I would have to refer you to our counsel. That would be Mr. Eli Columbus at Haynes and Boone of the Dallas office. And I think, yeah. So I'll have to refer you to counsel on that one.
Can I just ask on the plan to resume production and ramp up, what sort of numbers do you anticipate, going the rest of 2022 and into 23? Do you sort of see a market, is there a market to really get back into double figures at this point, or how do you see the ramp up going in production terms?
We are going to be going after our markets very, very hard. Well, I can't discuss the specifics on how we're going to do that just yet until we have that internal discussion and build those programs, fully develop them. We have the plan in place, and now it's just the how are we going to implement this plan. But we are going after those markets harder than Enstrom has done in a very, very long time. You'll see a lot of exciting things coming out of marketing and sales in the next few months. We'll have a lot of incentivizing performance and sales, as well as support networks. We want to bolster up all of those things and making sure our advocacy groups out in the world are well supported.
And just one more question from me. You mentioned about expanding capability and really increasing the portfolio a little bit, or hinted at that anyway. Mm-hmm. You mentioned eVTOLs.
Yes, sir.
Is there partnerships ahead of you, do you think, in that area, or are you offering capability to others? Or
we're offering that capability to others as far as certification efforts, parts production, one-off parts production or full-on parts production, manufacturing, logistics setups.
Right.
And yes, I believe there are some very good partnerships coming up very soon.
So why did the Chinese owners of Enstrom give up on the company, and what is the new ownership going to do different, or what did they do wrong that didn't lead to its long-term success?
Well, as far as why the Chinese ownership group gave up Enstrom, I'll refer you to them to answer that question. I'm not going to put words in their mouth. As far as what we're doing different, we are expanding those capabilities at Enstrom. So like I said, with the parts production, OEM support, engineering support, expanding that production. Enstrom has historically always been a vertically integrated company. We build about 90% of that airframe in-house. So our capabilities in manufacturing and in engineering and in support and our networks are very well poised for success in expanding those functions, those business models.
Where do you see Enstrom Aerospace Industries in 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I want to see a capacity of how should I put this? 5 years from now, this Enstrom Aerospace Industries, I want to be a global leader in the aerospace markets, okay? In parts production, manufacturing, engineering support, testing, design, as well as our helicopters and sales and our support networks. I want to be a leader in this industry. So,
great.
Okay.
And Enstrom had been developing the trainer several years ago. Any thoughts on that you'd like to share?
The TH-180 trainer? Is that what you're, the TH-180, actually while I was with Enstrom, I had the pleasure of flying that aircraft. a fantastic flying machine, and I'm eager to look at that project and see where it's at and see what we can do, moving that forward, or using the technologies we've developed in that to upgrade the current fleet. We want to upgrade our helicopters holistically, bring them up to speed with the current markets, with newer types of avionics systems, EFA systems, and electronic engine monitoring systems, all of those things, as well as some creature comforts, better air conditioning systems, things like that, making them more marketable than they've been in a while.
A couple questions. First of all, what was the attractiveness of the company, and when did this effort to acquire the company sort of begin? But first of all, what is it that you saw in Enstrom that made it a worthwhile investment?
Well, this all began with my principal investor when he bought an Enstrom. He bought serial number 5001, the first 480 off the production line, last March 2021. He hired me to my company, Mike's Helicopter Services, my prior company, to train him and take care of the helicopter and work with him. He just fell in love with the aircraft. How easy it is to fly, how comfortable it is, how big it is, how safe it is. The characteristics of it are just really unmatched for the category aircraft. So I got him interested in the Enstrom as a whole at that point. The tipping point on why we got interested in it was when we really started seeing and understanding the full capacities of Enstrom and that vertically integrated structure, and what we could do with it, not just in helicopter manufacturing, but manufacturing as a whole. So that was the real driver in the decision to go after this company, was the capabilities at Enstrom.
And did it begin just when the company went into bankruptcy, or did this actually have a longer tail to it in terms of your efforts?
It had longer tails to it. We were talking with Enstrom beginning in around October of last year. So we were looking at that company prior to the bankruptcy, and right up to we were looking at maybe possibly purchasing it before the bankruptcy, but there were other interested parties and offers on the table at that point. So we were kind of waiting in the wings to see what happened with those. And when those kind of fell away, we kept on the deal from October until the bankruptcy on, I can't remember the date, somewhere in January. And at that point, we really went after it.
And are you the people who've acquired the company, is it a consortium or a group of people? What can you tell me about who the new owners are of Enstrom?
I can't share too much because it's all private equity. But I can tell you that the ownership group is consistent of aviation enthusiasts and professionals. These people all have fixed wing or rotorcraft or both. They're all involved in aviation in one way or another, and really believe in our product.
And in terms of your customer base today, how would you describe the customer base, either North America, international, or military, civil? Who is an Enstrom customer today?
The Enstrom customers today, there is a group of private ownership in North America and Europe and around the world. There's those groups of private individuals, and that consists of most of the aircraft. Okay? And then we have our military and police markets around the world. So most of the aircraft are either training aircraft, private aircraft, or patrol aircraft at this time.
So Mike, you left the company at some point and then formed your own company, but now you're back working for the new company. What's the timeline of that? When did you leave Enstrom and?
Oh, I left Enstrom in the summer of 2018, and went to work doing a few things here and there, doing pipeline patrols, flying helicopters, just kind of enjoying myself for a bit. I had spent the last 2 years in and out of China at CGAG in Chongqing. I was there 2 months at a time, then 2 months elsewhere, then 2 months at a time, then 2 months elsewhere for several years. And so I took some time off and just took some pleasure jobs, flying around and having a good time. And then I started my own business, Mike's Helicopter Services, and I was running around the U.S. doing flight training and doing maintenance, doing all manner of things in helicopter. And that's where I met my investment group.
Is that the best way to describe MidTex as an investment group then, or as a?
MidTex Aviation itself is not an investment group.
Okay.
Okay. That's the entity we're pursuing this, where we've done this under.
I'm sorry.
That's the entity that we've
Yeah.
used for the asset purchase.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Are there other related aviation businesses under MidTex?
Yes, sir.
What would those be? What kind of businesses would those be?
Those are aviation management businesses mainly. So fleet management and pilot management businesses. There are also, we just started one a few months ago, MidTex Aerial Services, which is a patrolling entity. So helicopter patrols and surveys, filming, photography, all of that.
And when you say fleet management, are we talking corporate jet fleet management, or what kind of fleet management are we talking about?
Yeah, corporate jet fleet management. So we have a lot of aircraft under management right now that we run, from anything from King Airs to Citations, Falcons. I'm trying to think of everything, all the models we're doing, Merlins, Metros, all manner of business jets and turboprops.
Thanks very much.
And when you start up again, what kind of employment will the company have at startup? What do you need to sort of turn the lights back on?
Well, we'll need immediately, we'll need all the people that are involved with production, certification, and repair station certification. We'll need the people to do the parts distribution, build-ups, and shipping, receiving, inspections. All of those people are going to be absolutely necessary to ramp up quickly and efficiently and support our fleet as quickly and efficiently as possible. Now, this was a very fast process as far as bankruptcies are concerned, but we are absolutely, our number one priority right off the get-go is fleet support. Our customers are very loyal customers. They love our products, and we want to make sure that they're well taken care of, and I want to make sure that they understand our new organization is going to stand behind them. So our capacity plan kind of revolves around the fleet support at the beginning.
I'm aware of a couple Enstroms in upstate Vermont where the local owners have talked about putting electric engines in them. I think they're Dean Kamen's aircraft. Would that be part of your future?
I can't speak specifically about anything about those aircraft or anything like that. Okay, I can't talk specifics. Okay.
Or generally about anything. You mentioned eVTOL, so is an electric helicopter, is that a possibility in the future?
I believe so. I believe electrification is in our future. Okay.
So, Mike, are you guys excited about this?
Oh, I am very excited about this. The last 24 hours, I think I've spoken with nearly all of the previous Enstrom reps and service centers around the world. I've been getting phone calls all day, all night from everyone. And the reception has been very, very good. My time with Enstrom as the Managing Director of Support Programs and Technical Representative, I know these people. I've worked with them personally. They all know me, and so they're very excited to see what's happening and the directions we're going. And we have personal relationships that we want to see create into these business relationships to make sure we're very successful. And our network out there has been very well received to the news.